Hello, BookTube. Well, the Man Booker Shortlist for 2016 has been announced, as I'm sure some of you have seen. Sorry, by the way, for how bleary-eyed and slurpy I I had a major allergy attack last night, first one of the summer, and I'm in its sloppy aftermath here. But anyway, the Man Booker Shortlist was announced, and the six books that were on it are The Sellout by Paul Beatty, Do Not Say We Have Nothing by Madeline Thien, Eileen by Montessa Mosfet, Hot Milk by Deborah Levy, His Bloody Project by Graham McCrae Burnett, and All That Man Is by Paul Zalay. And the judges quoted in the papers said that this list was arrived at with much agonizing, and their quote was, "The final six reflect the centrality of the novel in modern culture, in its ability to champion the unconventional, to explore the unfamiliar, and to tackle difficult subjects." And when I see something like this, I always like to go through a list of the pros and cons to break it down that way. I thought I'd do that now. And one of the pros of these six as finalists is the absence of explicitly experimental fiction on the list, which is very good because explicitly experimental fiction is usually narcissistic claptrap, and I I haven't got over the fact that Vernon God Little won the Man Booker Prize. I was slack-jawed in amazement when it happened, and I'm still reeling just a bit. These are all foursquare conventional novels. Their narratives can be tricky at times, but these are stories, which I really like. I like the fact that Man Booker hasn't gone so round the bend that their final list is including stuff that is just an expression of the author's boredom. And another positive to mention about this short list is that every book on it is really good. I don't agree with some of these choices. Eileen, for instance, and His Bloody Project, I have no idea what they're doing on this list. Unless we're thinking of Man Booker shortlist titles differently than I have ever done that, and maybe that needs to be the case for me. Maybe I just need to rethink the Man Booker Prize. But I have no idea why they're on the list. But either way, regardless of why they're on the list, all six of these books are really good. If you picked one of them up, stripped of its cover, and didn't know anything about the Man Booker Prize, you would like the reading experience. There'd be enough in it to keep you reading and to make you interested, which is great, because the Man Booker shortlist sticker on the cover of a book is going to mean a lot more sales for that book. A lot of people are going to read these books who otherwise wouldn't. So it's great that all six are strong novels. And when we come to negatives, well, one of them is that the inclusion of basically plot-driven adventure stories seems odd to me, when there are books out there that delve a little deeper, that dive a little darker, and that weren't even on the long list, much less the short list. That's a little confusing, but I'm not sure it counts as a negative. One thing that does count as a negative, in my opinion, is that quote from the judges about agonizing is what's known in the literary world as boilerplate, and what's known in the non-literary world as a lie. There was no agonizing that went on here. There was only jockeying for political correctness. The short list, just like the long list, is exactly half male and exactly half female authors, which you don't get if you're agonizing over literary quality and, what was it, the ability to champion the unconventional, explore the unfamiliar, and tackle difficult subjects. If those are what you're thinking about, your list will not end up demographically perfect. And the long list did, and now the short list has, which just reminds me of the point I made in my earlier video on Man Booker. The political correctness is running the table here. We're lucky that the end results are actually literarily worthy, because they need not have been. The deciding factor isn't literary, and that's a little depressing. As you might remember from my earlier video, I predicted that one of my 4 Jelly Baby predictions. So one of the books that I thought would go all the way was The Sellout by Paul Beatty. Now, my other choice is not on this list. It was a debut novel. It was a long shot anyway. The Sellout is here, and I think there's a chance that it will win. But it's a long shot because of what I just mentioned. When I was reminded by the shortlist that the judges, when it came to their agonizing, were looking at author photos rather than thinking about books. They were thinking, okay, well, we've got too many of this gender. Okay, we've got 2 more of this gender than we have of this gender. Can we get, we have separate piles here for the male gender and the female gender. Can I get 2 more from this pile? Do I need 1 from this pile? Knowing that's the case, I think the chances now of The Sellout winning become rather longer than I would have thought, because last year's winner, I went online and checked the genitalia of the winner for 2015, and he was a man. And the genitalia of the winner for 2014, he also was a man. And the most depressing thing about the Man Booker Shortlist in 2016 is that the judges made that same internet search. They also were concerned with genitalia over everything else. So the fact that a man won last year and the year before tells me to a certainty that a man will not win this year. Because if that happened, there would be articles on BuzzFeed saying, Man Booker, Boys Club. I am 100% certain that those articles for websites like BuzzFeed have already been written and filed and are just waiting to go in early October when the winner is announced. I think I know some of the writers of those articles. How they live with themselves, I have no idea. But the simple fact is that the publishing world walks in terror of such things when it should be ignoring them completely. So I think I can say with 100% certainty that a man will not win the Man Booker Prize in 2016, which rules out The Sellout, which I think is the strongest book on this list. So if I had to choose, if I had to make a choice now, and of course, as I mentioned last time, the whole point of talking about this thing is to make your own predictions. I'm notoriously bad at predicting things. I'm kind of surprised that one of my choices is here on the short list. But nevertheless, I'm going to make a prediction for the winner. I'm going to split the field. I'm going to hedge my bets and make 2 predictions. I predict that either Hot Milk by Deborah Levy will win, or Do Not Say We Have Nothing by Madeline Thien will win. One of those 2, I predict, will win. It won't be Paul Beatty, but it won't be anybody else. I think it will be one of those 2. I haven't checked online to see what the odds are, what the odds makers are saying in London. But if I did, and I saw that any of them were predicting a man, I would know to disregard them anyway. So here's hoping. First of all, the 2 things, and then I'll slurp off stage left. First of all, no matter who wins, we all win, because these are 6 really good books. This is good, solid books. I don't think that, aside from The Sellout, I don't think that any one of them is really a knockout, something that you read and just say, wow, I just read a great book. I don't think that's true for any of the others except his book. But they're all absolutely solid, worthy choices for you to read, which is, I guess, what this is all supposed to be about, right? These are recommendations. Awards are essentially recommendations. That's really good news. And we'll just have to stick with that for what I think is a weak year for Man Booker. And we'll see what happens. So I will come back to the subject in early October when the winner is announced, and I'll either crow or I'll eat crow. so I'll see you soon, BookTube. I'll see you many times before then. Thank you.